Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ryan, and we're going to talk about the Lions' victory over the Green Bay Packers last night. This is my instant reaction, kind of, right? Because it's the day after. I just didn't feel like recording last night. Before I begin, let me know what your thoughts are on the game between the Packers and the Lions. Something you learned. I'm going to go 3 things I learned about the Lions. And then also, we're going to talk a little bit about the Green Bay Packers. Let's start with the Lions first. The Lions, the first thing I took away from the game is how dominant the Lions were in the trenches. Their offensive line dominated the Packers' defensive line. Their defensive line dominated the Packers' offensive line. They rushed the ball 40 times for 161 yards. I'm talking just their running backs. They had 211 total, but that was including the end around to Raymond that went for 40 yards. But the running backs themselves, 40 carries, 160 yards. Both Montgomery, he averaged almost 4 yards a carry. Gibbs averaged 5 yards a carry. And it's a lot because of the holes that were created by the Detroit Lions offensive line. And they kind of like inserted their will against the Green Bay Packers. That was really good by the Detroit Lions. That's something I took away. And after not getting a sack, I think they had 1 sack the first 2 games. They had 5 tonight. So after only getting 1 sack in the first 2 games, the Lions defensive line had 12 sacks the last 2 games. So moving Hutchinson around, you can see they were doing a lot of that. I think Isaiah Buggs has just, turned it on another level where he's been getting to the quarterback just like up the middle. And part of that too is the inexperience, which we'll talk about, of the young quarterbacks that the Lions played. If you notice, against veteran quarterbacks, the Lions did not get to Mahomes or Geno Smith, but they got to Ritter and Jordan Love. So part of that is the inexperience and holding on to the ball of the young quarterbacks they were playing. But I think that line has definitely showed out the last 2 weeks. The second thing I learned about this team is their way the way they've overcome adversity in this game specifically, because let's start with the first drive of the game. Jared Goff threw an interception, and the defense actually got the Packers to go backwards. I think they ended up with like 3rd and 19 and to kick the field goal. So even though they turned the ball over on their side of the field, they did not allow the Packers to cash in on that with a touchdown. They only allowed 3 points. I think that's big. That's good. The second half starts and the Packers score a touchdown. There was a couple of iffy penalties. And then the other touchdown that the Packers scored was on when the clock hit 00 on 3rd down and they got a bomb. And the play really shouldn't have counted, and they ended up scoring a touchdown anyway. And then what did they do? I mean, after those 2 touchdowns, they cut the lead. The Lions, they went down the field and scored a touchdown. So, and the Packers just couldn't get it going again. And Jordan Love, inexperience, once again, kind of showed in this game. He had a couple of picks, which we'll talk about, a couple overthrow balls, and one was right to a defender as well. So to me, the Lions overcoming adversity when they could have like done what they did in the past, which is kind of cave into themselves, so to speak, and allow the Packers to get into the game. they didn't allow that. So that was good by the Lions. Well, the last thing I wanted to take away from this game or talk about, and I always take one thing that's a negative, just so that I'm trying to be objective, even though it's really hard. Um, in this game, I just guess I wish they would use Gibbs more. He was the 12th overall pick. I still don't understand. You'll hear this from me all year, I promise you, and it's going to get annoying. I still don't understand why they drafted him in the first round, but he only had 8 carries. He had 5 yards per carry. Montgomery was running the ball well, but you want to see Gibbs used more, um, in and they tried to get him involved in the passing game for 4 catches for 11 yards, but that didn't really work out for them. So he only touched the ball 12 times, 51 yards. You just want to see more from him if you're going to draft him 12th overall. And remember, the Lions said he would be an instant contributor, and he's not really instant contributor through the first 4 weeks of the season. Hopefully that picks up. He's explosive. So I just wonder if they're kind of like easing him into it because Montgomery's doing so well. I kind of get it, but I just think Montgomery's performance, that's a sort of a positive takeaway too, is that his performance is shows us the reason why you don't draft a running back in the first round is because you could find a running back like Montgomery for $4 million a year out in free agency who can average 4 yards a carry and carry the ball, hit the hole hard. He had 3 touchdowns as well. So I don't know. I'm really impressed by Montgomery, but just the only negative thing I can think of is Gibbs. And the other thing I guess is why in the world was Brian Branch out there when the Lions were up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter after hurting his ankle with 4 minutes to go? Let's not get him injured because he was him and Laporta have been just, in my opinion, like the 2 steals of the drafts for the Lions. The steal of the draft for the Lions. Okay, let's just talk about the Packers real quick. Interestingly, to me about the Green Bay Packers, they only ran the ball 12 times, 10 with their running backs. They did not commit to the ground game at all. I don't think they did Jordan Love any favors in this game. So they started off the game with 6 straight passes. And I don't understand why you activate Aaron Jones and you don't run the ball more. That I don't understand. They kind of, I don't know if they were trying to show the world because it was primetime game. Oh, look at Jordan Love. He's going to carry us to this win. But Jordan Love did not do that. Okay. He had a pretty bad game. He had a couple of good throws. I thought the one that kind of shouldn't account was his best throw, the one to Reed at the end of the third quarter. That was a beautiful pass. Dobbs, he is the better of the 2 receivers between him and Watson. Some of the catches he was making was impressive. I think they've definitely found a really good wide receiver in Romeo Dobbs. And I also like Reed. So even if Watson doesn't end up being anything because he's always injured, I think they definitely found those 2 wide receivers, which is going to go, that's going to really help Jordan Love in the future. The defense, this was my biggest concern coming into the season. A lot of Packer fans, they were really excited about the defense. Oh, we're going to win these games by running the ball and playing good defense. Well, your defense hasn't been good this year. And it's because you kept the same defensive coordinator you did last year. And you thought things would change. And I don't think that's going to change. And, again, they only ran the ball 10 times. Right. So if you're going to win the game by running the ball and playing the defense, I'm just going to say a good idea would be maybe run the ball. That's how you run the ball, is by handing it off. So the Packers were less than impressive in this game. I think they got pretty fortunate scoring the points they did. One was set up by the Lions. One was set up by kind of 2 iffy calls, like the hand to the face. I don't think it actually was. They didn't have a good view on it, but it looked like he was pushing up on his shoulder pad. That's even the announcing crew said that. And then there was that hit, the unnecessary roughness when the linebacker was lowering his helmet and shoulders to hit. I think it was Aaron Jones in like the chest mid region, and then Aaron Jones then lowered his head and shoulder to like embrace for the contact, and it was incidental. So I don't know. I didn't like that call either. because you're more worried about the offensive player than the defensive player in that situation. I don't care for it. Anyway, so awesome win by the Lions. They are number 1 right now in the NFC North. Just an interesting stat that I read yesterday that I wanted to share with you guys. The Lions have not won their division since 1993, and at that time, their division was called the NFC Central. So this could be big for Lions fans to finally win the NFC North. Let's go Lions. Packer fans, this is what it's like to have a young quarterback that might not be good. You just got to live with the up and downs. So we'll see what happens going forward. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts were on the Lions and the Packers. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.